How do you do something so horrific and walk away a free man? Welcome to Creeper Nick. I talk about things that weird and creep me out. If you'd like to join me on this journey, please consider subscribing. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you could hit that like button. Okay, grab your favorite beverage, sit back, relax, and let's begin. It was back in July of 2008 when Tim McLean, a carnival barker, which is someone who tries to attract people to come into the circus or fair, was working a fair in Edmonton, Alberta, up in Canada. He finished his day working and he hopped on a bus headed towards his home in Winnipeg. When he got on the bus, he decided to sit in the back, kind of by where the toilets are, like 1 or 2 rows ahead of that. A little while into the bus ride in Erickson, Manitoba, a new passenger got on the bus, and his name was Vince Lee. To paint a better picture of Lee, he was a very tall man. He was in his 40s with a shaved head and sunglasses. When Lee got on the bus, he sat in the front, kind of by where the bus driver was. After a scheduled bus stop, Lee got up and went to the back of the bus and sat next to Tim McLean. And Tim didn't really pay him any mind. He just looked over and nods, and then puts on his headphones and falls asleep on the window. So the scheduled stop is over and the bus continues on its path towards Winnipeg. And then at some point in this ride, seemingly out of nowhere, Vince Lee pulls out a knife and begins to attack Tim McLean in the chest and neck. Now I could attempt to explain what happened and paint a really good picture, but I think it'd be best just to hear it from an eyewitness. I believe this interview was conducted the night that all this actually happened, and I will leave a link below to the full 7-minute interview. The guy's clearly in shock from what he saw.
I was just reading a book. All of a sudden I heard a guy screaming. I turned around and the guy sitting right next beside me was standing up and stabbing another guy with a Rambo knife. Repeatedly. Told everybody to get off the bus. Everybody started to get off the bus. Everybody got off the bus. Me and a trucker that had stopped and the Greyhound driver ran up to the door to maybe see if the guy was still alive or we could help or something like that. And when we all got up, we seen that the guy was cutting off the guy's head. He saw us. He came back to the front of the bus, told the driver to shut the door. He pressed the button and the door shut, but it didn't shut in time, and the guy was able to get his knife out and take a swipe at us, so we backed off the door, and then we both returned to the front to see what had happened, and he hadn't gotten off the bus. The door was still open. We shut the bus door that time and shut it. It was at that point that he came, started walking to the front of the bus, and he had the head in his hand, and he just looked at us like this and dropped it on the ground, like, totally calm. And the bus driver disabled the bus somehow in the back. I'm not sure how he did it. It was at that point I think that the police showed up and kicked us off, got us to the back, the end of the bus there. Nothing, just totally calm. The guy that he stabbed was listening to his headphones and sleeping.
The poor guy is definitely still in shock. And I mean, what normal person wouldn't be? So the attack happens and everybody's off the bus. The police arrive at 9 p.m. I'm not sure how long after the attack this was. And a standoff begins with Lee. Police say that they can hear Lee in the bus yelling, "I have to stay on this bus forever." And they also witness him eating parts of Tim McLean's flesh. Tim McLean's poor mother even heard on the radio that someone had been attacked in a bus, murdered in a bus. And she felt super bad for that person and prayed for them at dinner. And then later found out that it was her son. For 4 hours, Lee would pace the bus back and forth, occasionally eat body parts, and holding body parts up for all to see, like some sick trophies. You would think with Lee not having any live hostages or firearms, that this gruesome show could have been put to rest hours earlier, Like, maybe when the cops got there. And I'm not even talking about killing him. You have tasers. But hey, I wasn't there. I'm not going to pretend to know police procedure. At around 1:30 a.m., Lee tried to escape out a broken bus window. He was shot with a taser twice and then arrested. And upon searching Lee, Tim McLean's ear, nose, and tongue were all found in his pockets. Upon cleaning up the crime scene, police discovered that Tim McLean's eyes and parts of his heart were missing, which they believed that Vince Lee had eaten. Lee's trial started a little over 7 months after the incident took place, and he pleaded not criminally responsible on account of mental disorder. See, Lee had schizophrenia and claimed that he was hearing voices from God telling him that Tim was an alien and that he was in danger if he didn't kill him. And the judge agreed. The judge agreed that Lee was not criminally responsible for this act, and he was taken to Selkirk Mental Health Center. After a couple years being in Selkirk, it was reported that Lee was actually responding really well to treatment. Over the years, he was granted supervised visits to walk around in a town, and eventually unsupervised visits. But on February 10th, 2017, Lee was given an absolute discharge, meaning no probation, no restrictions. He was and still is a completely free man under the new name Will Baker. And I want to hear your comments on that. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, he murders, beheads, and then devours parts of this man. And not even 10 years later, he's free. He's completely free. As far as what I think it's wild. I know mental health isn't black and white. There's a lot of gray area. But the guy did all that and gets less than 10 years of even supervision. I believe in rehabilitation and that it can work. But just based on what he did, I believe at the very least he should have been rehabilitated and either put in prison or at the very least supervised at the mental health facility for life. But that's just my opinion. I'm excited to read the comments on this one. There's even an interview he did in 2012 where he said, I don't think I would do it again. Not, I will never do that again. I don't think I will do that again. He even had a second victim after his arrest by way of PTSD. One of the first responding officers on the scene, Corporal Ken Barker, took his own life, and his family said that he was suffering from severe PTSD from the Greyhound bus attack. It's a crazy story. I can't believe what happened on the bus. I can't believe he's free. I can't believe any of this. It's crazy. But that's it for now. Thank you for joining me. Good night, everybody.